Welcome to the 71st Annual National Veterans Day Parade in Birmingham, Alabama. Armistice Day first became Veterans Day right here in Birmingham in 1947, and we are about to celebrate it for the 71st year in a row. It's November 12th, 2018, and the parade is about to come into view. Before it does, we have some very important people to thank. This live stream, television broadcast, and permanent posting of today's parade are made possible by these fine Birmingham area sponsors who salute the men and women of our military for their brave and dedicated service to our country. Adamson Ford, the Howell Group of Keller Williams, Homes for Heroes, Siluria Brewery, Al's Deli and Grill, Full Function Power and Audio, Al's on 7th, Emerson Events, and CSC Roofing. And now we join the 71st Annual National Veterans Day Parade in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama.
And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 71st Annual National Veterans Day Parade right here in Birmingham, Alabama. My name is Mark Cummings. This is Karen Day. Little different weather for the last few years that we've had.
I still say we've had sunny and 70 for so long that I will take a day like today.
It's 56 degrees in Birmingham right now, so we're a little chilly, a little wet, but it's all good. We're going to have a fantastic parade.
We certainly are. We want very much for you all to see what's going on with the parade right now. We will talk about the parade route map in just a moment because I don't want to miss what's about to happen. Let's go for it right now.
Our national anthem.
This is Callie Walker and the Mortimer Jordan Choir.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We want to show you right now the route that everything is taking today. We started off.
Armistice Day, which became Veterans Day first in Birmingham, Alabama, happened 100 years ago as of yesterday, 11/11/1918, at 11 a.m. Paris time. Today, the World War I Color Guard will march south over the Rainbow Division Bridge and turn right onto 3rd Avenue South, picking up more divisions as they go. The parade will proceed all the way to 14th Street, where they'll turn right onto 14th, go the 2 blocks past the front entrance to Regents Park with its huge Birmingham sign, and then turn right again onto 1st Avenue South, where they'll march past the gorgeous 4-block Railroad Park and the parade viewing stand graciously provided by Home Depot. The parade will continue all the way to 20th Street, where it will disband beneath the iconic Magic City Rotary Trail sign.
We're looking right now at the World War I Color Guard. They are in actual uniforms doing the color guard. These are the uniforms that were worn during World War I.
And yesterday was 100 years is the end of World War I.
Yep, 11/11/1918.
And this is the Weeks family here on your screens now. Mr. Weeks started the National Veterans Day Parade right here in Birmingham 71 years ago today.
That's right. It was Armistice Day. Armistice Day is the end of World War I.
This is the Birmingham Police Department. Birmingham's finest leading off the parade this year. And right there is Mayor Randall Woodfin from the city of Birmingham, Birmingham's youngest mayor ever. So happy to have him. He actually posted on social media today, said the parade will go on. We've never canceled a parade, and the men that we're honoring have walked in worse. So we're going to walk in the parade.
And that we have all felt like that for this entire week of broadcast, forecast. And right now, this is Captain Gary Michael Rose. He is our Veteran of the Year, crossing the crosswalk.
And then right behind him, you saw Callie Walker, Miss Alabama. There she is.
And we are looking at the Dixie Patrol. Glenn made it. You are looking at, it's hard to see everybody in the rain today, but this is the Dixie Division, and they are carrying the parade marshal. I'm looking for Glenn Niven, who has done more for veterans in the Birmingham area than any single other one person in a long time. Now we're looking at Kathy. But these are the Jeeps that were used in World War I. It's the Dixie Division Military Vehicle Club. It was organized in 1999. It is dedicated to the preservation, restoration, collection, and display of historic military vehicles and the education of their use in the military. And you're looking at it right there. And these are to be our fellows from the Battle of the Bulge. I'm trying to read.
All right, up next we do have the Battle of the Bulge Association. More than 70 years ago, over 600,000 Americans fought during World War II's largest land battle of the U.S. Armed Forces. Alabama's chapter of the Battle of the Bulge Association keeps alive the memory of the men and women who took part in this battle, which officially is known as the Battle of the Ardennes. Membership is open to anyone. The Battle of the Bulge.
And we're looking at Brigadier General Retired Michael Dillard. And way down the street, this is the float that is coming from CSC Roofing. And CSC Roofing is Mark Ryan, the president of National Veterans Day in Birmingham, and Kathy Culberson, who is the treasurer. And they together make up CSC Roofing. And the amount of time and energy they sacrifice to make this happen is a lot.
Every year they work tirelessly to make sure that we have a fantastic Veterans Day parade here. So thank you to our friends at CSC Roofing.
I love the Jeep.
I love the Jeep on the back of that too. That's awesome.
And now we are looking at the
Vietnam Vets of America, Chapter 301. There. We have the Vietnam Veteran of America, the State Veteran of the Year, 2018.
Mm-hmm. And we actually want to...
And his name is Larry Snyder from Tuscaloosa.
I spoke to him the other afternoon at the meeting, and they were very concerned about how on earth to get here from the Sheraton, but I'm very happy to see they made it. And we have the Vietnam Veterans of America, the Tuscaloosa chapter. We have several chapters of it. I want to tell you there's a lot of similarities between the young veterans and the ones who retired from the Vietnam War. And there's a lady, Staff Sergeant Hattie Bennett, and she is, I talked with her the other day. younger veterans, whether active duty or coming off deployment or recently retired, feel that they have little in common with the older veterans and that nothing's the same. So when I spoke with her, what do they have in common? The answer is an awful lot.
One of the things I know is the same is the camaraderie you feel. It has to be. Because when you deploy with your unit, you become family, for lack of a better word, because now these are my brothers and sisters in arms. And when I'm there, I don't have my mother, my father, my aunt, my cousin, my brothers. I have these men and women who have joined the military to do the same thing I've done to defend my country. So now I'm in this awful situation where I'm afraid out of my mind, and who do I turn to? I have to turn to them. So I think one thing that's the same is those soldiers become your family. I think that's the same.
All right. Now, we've had the O'Hara Band of Brothers that you've seen go through your shot during that video. Bob O'Hara, U.S. Army retired, and along with a lot of the O'Hara family. Now we have the James Earl Ham, Vietnam, U.S. Army, and a Navy Seabee. He was a busy man.
He was deployed to Vietnam from November 68 to November 71 as part of the U.S. Army and stayed in the Army till late 77. He enlisted in the Navy in 1980, traveled to Puerto Rico, the Philippines, all over the place. And we now have the commander of the military Order of the Purple Heart, Roosevelt McCrae. We were very happy to see.
And there's Mr. Robert C. Jones.
Speaking of which, all of these people that have right now, they are all veterans of the Vietnam War. And while we're dealing with the anniversary of World War I, we're honoring the Vietnam War vets.
Okay, up next is the Lyman Ward Military Academy from Camp Hill, Alabama, just down Highway 280. Lyman Ward has won the best JROTC marching unit 4 out of the last 6 years. It was founded in 1898. It's Alabama's official military secondary school and one of the only 13 boys military schools in the United States. It's, like I said, it was located 19 miles northwest of Auburn, educates boys 6th through 12th grade from across the U.S. and foreign countries. The school is fully accredited and boasts a 100% college acceptance rate.
Say that again.
I know,
100%.
Right? That's the JROTC unit from Lyman Ward Military Academy in Camp Hill, Alabama.
They still managed to wear the black. Some of the white gloves are probably too wet to wear in the rain, but they
Oh no, they've got their white gloves on.
look super smart when they
Up
march.
next, we have the Gold Star Wives.
Gold Star Wives is a nonprofit service organization that provides assistance to friends who have lost their spouses.
And they're running through very quickly on us. Alabama National Cemetery in Montevallo, Alabama. Of course, they're known for wreaths across America.
Yes. And the Department of Alabama Veterans of Foreign Wars, the VFA, is upon us.
That's the commander of the VFW here in Alabama.
Yes. I'm looking for... Yeah, these are all of the different chapters of the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And that's different from the American Legion. The Veterans of Foreign Wars, you've been in a foreign war. And here comes the American Red Cross. I think someone's trying to make an escape.
All right, up next is the Dispain family in honor of James Leroy Dispain, who was in Korea in World War I. He was killed in action in World War I in 1918. That's his family there.
Quite a lot of them. It takes a bus.
Absolutely. Up next is in memory of John T. Golden Sr.
And he's right before this one. This is the Jewish
Right before
War
the Jewish War veteran.
Yes, post 608. from the Krulak Marine Alliance of Alabama. The Krulak Marines, Semper Fi. And there's Brute Krulak and his son, Charles Krulak, who was most recently the president of Birmingham Southern College and was on the Joint Chiefs of Staff. All right, so we're looking at
There in your shot, you can see the Alabama School for the Blind, which may end up being one of the only bands we have in our parade today. So let's take just a moment to listen. This is the band from the Alabama School for the Blind.
There he is. Thank you, man. High five. Very good. Thanks for serving me. Hey, sir.
That was the Alabama School for the Blind here in Birmingham, braving the elements with us today.
And up next, we have the Buffalo Soldiers Motorcycle Club of America. And the Buffalo Soldiers are brave to come out here today.
The Home Depot, we love our veterans. They also love the job.
And here comes Home Depot. Well, they're passing our cameras. We're not in sync with our cameras at the moment, I don't think. But the Home Depot provided all of the supplies for the viewing stand that was not able to happen today. But they do a lot for veterans. Home Depot is an excellent place to start if you're trying to figure out something for yourself when you're coming out of the military and you're not sure how to proceed.
Well, thank you to our friends at the Home Depot. And their sign says, "We love our veterans."
They do. They have programs. They have programs within their employment for people who are trying to get their feet down and move forward. And now we are looking at Shelby County 4-H Horse Club.
Our equestrian contingent is much smaller this year because of the weather, but we're glad that the Shelby County 4-H Club came out today.
Absolutely. Normally we have a lot more, and we also have a big shield on the street, and we take bets on whether people can get their horses to walk across the shield. Because
Exactly.
I think it's a lake or something. So,
And then, of course, got a little cleanup crew right behind them from the city of Birmingham.
I'm just not saying anything. And here is, the State Veterans Home in Alex City. This is the Colonel Robert L. Howard. They always turn out every year.
And I don't know if you can see through the tent. They have tinted windows on the buses, but there are a lot of veterans inside the buses enjoying the Veterans Day Parade festivities today.
It is true. And they have care for all kinds of veterans that have served in World War II, Korean, Vietnam, and Desert Storm.
93 years old.
And here are the veterans of World War II and Korean War. This is, I'm trying to say his name. We apologize for not knowing.
I see a helicopter coming down the street, Karen.
Oh, wow.
This is from the Southern Museum of Flight, one of the largest aviation museums in the Southeast, and they're dedicated to presenting civilian, military, and experimental aircraft and memorabilia from the earliest history of powered flight. Again, this is the Southern Museum of Flight from right here in Birmingham. Looks like one of the MASH helicopters. I would love to ride in one of those. Well, look, it actually says MASH. I didn't even see that.
No, I didn't either. I know that was. I can't remember the difference between the Hueys and the Jet Rangers, the Bell Jet Rangers. So I am shy to speak. But this is most definitely an Army helicopter.
Next, we have the Alabama Artillery Group, the cannon firing team supporting disabled American veterans from St. Clair County, Alabama. There's more of them.
We are, and I know that we are looking at the national and state National and the State Veteran of the Year of the DAV, Disabled American Veterans, riding with the artillery group.
From St. Clair County, from Blount and Coleman County.
They are all together today.
Representing all of the veterans who served in Alabama and the military. The Brown brothers are the top.
Oh. Now this large truck is brought to us by Alabama Power. Alabama Power, a Southern company. That's a real loud horn on that. Now you see the Lakeshore Foundation. That's a nonprofit which enables people with physical disabilities and chronic health conditions to lead healthy, active, and independent lifestyles through physical activity, sport, recreation, advocacy, policy, and research.
And every year when they're raising money for the parade itself, a portion always goes to Lakeshore Foundation.
Okay, this is the Birmingham Association of Realtors. That's the Priority Veteran from the United Way. Check them out at priorityveteran.org.
United Way of Central Alabama's Priority Veteran is a service coordination program for homeless veterans and their families. And here is Vet to Vet, the Birmingham group that connects veterans with each other so they can understand more and commiserate and speak and bond.
And of course, now you see all the Boy Scouts.
Yes.
Pack 100 from Gardendale. There's a lot of them from all over the greater Birmingham area.
Yes, it has gone down by about 90%. Usually there are about 600 of them.
Gardendale, Clay, Alabama, represented as well.
I do want to tell you, the parade is definitely shorter and quicker than we're used to, but I need for you to understand that our Veteran of the Year is Captain Gary Michael Rose. And during the Vietnam War, Captain Mike Rose was a combat medic with the Special Forces. He received the Confederate Medal of Honor for his heroic actions during a 4-day period on September 11th through 14th, 1970, on a mission to Laos, Operation Tailwind, which was classified until just recently. The short answer is that he is a hero and people did not die. And because of that, he has a Congressional Medal of Honor, and he is our National Veteran of the Year. And so I would like to give you this clip of Captain Gary Michael Rose.
I can tell you that our raids and our reconnaissance into that Laos tied up some 40 to 50,000 NBA troops that were originally sent going south to fight the American units. There's 58,000 names on that wall. And I don't know if without our unit doing what we did, would that wall have 100,000 names on it. On that operation, it just wasn't the Army. It's a collective medal from my perspective. All the courage and honor and the dedication and duty that those men served and went for 30 years not even being acknowledged, let alone recognized. It points to the fact that the men and women that served in that time frame were honorable, and they deserve some type of recognition. And I think this medal somewhat points to the fact that you could say, faithful servant, well done.
We are looking at the American Legion.
That was wonderful by Captain Gary Rose, Medal of Honor recipient. The American Legion posts, we missed a couple of those. You saw them in your shot while we were watching the video, but posts from all over the Birmingham area. That is post 113 in the shot that you see there now from Tarrant, Alabama.
And there are many. There's a fellow named Yates Massey who works with the Army Reserves here in Birmingham. And when Yates was active duty, he spent considerable time in Europe and Hawaii, among other assignments. Knowing the difference in work environments, I asked Yates Massey what made him choose to go from active duty to reserves. And this is what he had to say.
When it was, it only been 10 years, so I'm not eligible for retire. And I got out, I was a captain, and now I'm a lieutenant colonel in the reserve. So it's just, I've always felt a desire to serve and a calling. And even though I left active duty, I still wanted to continue to serve, guard, reserve, and capacity, and reserve was actually the best fit for me and my family. So I plan on staying as long as I can.
And that's Yates Massey. Right now we're looking, yeah, go ahead, Mark, you go.
We continue to see the American Legion from all over the Birmingham area. And coming into your shot right now is an amazing float. This is American Legion Post 107. Has veterans on it with the memory wall. All gave some gave all from the Vietnam Memorial.
In trying to bridge the gap between the younger veterans and the ones from the Vietnam War, we've been asking what is the difference, how are younger veterans able to stay bonded together nowadays. And there is a Colonel Danny W. Sample. He actually is the one that put the parade together. Danny, I asked how it's different today for the younger ones coming back off deployment, and he says that social media has a huge role in keeping soldiers connected with each other. But I'm going to ask that we keep this close camera on the floats as they go by while we show you a little bit from Danny Sample.
For example, the Alabama Veterans is a Facebook group. They do statewide reach outs, but they also do local movie nights. They also do get together to do resume writing, or they also get together to assist other veterans, whether it's on a home project or a business project.
There you're seeing the Daughters of the American Revolution and the Children of the American Revolution, Birmingham chapter, the Sons of the American Revolution as well.
And there are a bunch of different chapters, and I've tried to figure out, I think it's just a matter of where you live, who you're close to. But the Daughters, the Sons, they are all over the Birmingham area. And one of their projects is to get photos of every single face of every single person lost in the Vietnam War.
That was American Legion Post 165 right there in your shot. Now it's time for the Marines. Marines had a birthday just a few days ago as well. Actually, yesterday. The few, the proud.
I can't remember what year it is. I just saw a lot of candles. One of our sponsors is Homes for Heroes, and they help veterans and teachers, first responders, firemen. They help them all when they need to get a house and they need special funding. They work to serve these people in their special circumstances.
This is the U.S. Army.
This has to be the first parade like this that I've ever experienced.
The Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge, F&AM of Alabama. This is the Sons Dixie Riders, number 148 out of Birmingham. And now the Birmingham Fire and Rescue, real loud right here in front of us, but that's the Birmingham Baron fire truck. Birmingham Barons making football comeback last year, doing a fantastic job, won their division this year. And all the first responders
I believe we are actually looking at the end of our parade for today, but I'm not done with you yet. Because one of our purposes this year is to speak to the younger veterans and how they can actually bond together, how they can find purpose when they are coming out of the military. There are people that you can reach out to that have to do with resume writing. They have to do with coming together and speaking about the experiences that you've had, keeping in touch with your brothers in arms from deployment, even if you've come back to Texas, but now you're living in Alabama. And we do encourage you to seek out the social media groups. And there's also, one of our sponsors is the Siluria Brewery down in Alabaster. It's veteran-owned. It's actually being started by Danny Sample, who put the parade together, does it every year. And he's a veteran retiring this year from 32 years of service in the Army.
Wow.
And he wants for the veterans in the Birmingham area to be able to come out and be together, share stories, see each other, and feel that they're not alone, because private civilian life is very, very different. You get to eat slower, you get to walk slower. It's not always clear what you have to have done by the end of the day.
Right.
Things are just not as structured. But that's one of our sponsors is Siluria Brewery.
All right, we have had a fantastic time with you for the 71st Annual National Veterans Day Parade. It's been a fun day for me. A little cold, a little wet, but thank you so much for joining us here in Birmingham. Have a great day.
And happy Veterans Day, everyone.